So welcome to the recap of my seventh round league game of the last season technically. So it's basically over, but I still recover the last recaps of the league. So when you watch the recap of round 7, you will already know that round 7 was round 6 was played after round 7, so this is kind of the 6th game we played. So the situation before this game was that our team won the first 5 matches very decisively, and we were leading the league table with 5 wins. And the opponent of this match was the second place at that time of the year, and they had 4 wins and 1 loss. So when they win this game, then we have exactly the same number of points. When we win, we're already 4 points ahead. So for a win, you get 2 points. In the late part of the season, this is already a pretty high number of points, so a big advantage. So this game is really some very important game to decide who gets the promotion. So only the first team gets the promotion to the next league, to the next higher league. So we were demoted last year, so we try to get the promotion again. So we really try to win this game to make it not 100% sure, but to get in a very good position to win the promotion directly again. So the opponents are, of course, stronger than the opponents in the first games, but we were still kind of more or less clear favorites. So my opponent had a bit less a bit more than 100 points less than me. So there is still some advantage for us, but not as big as in the first rounds. So before I tell you about the whole result and the situation in the league table after this match, I want to jump in already into my game. So this time I had the black pieces, so I just want to start and analyze it with you. So my opponent this time started with d4, and more or less always, when the opponent plays d4, I play some kind of King's Indian setup. So knight to f6, opponent plays knight to f3, I play d6, he plays g3, also plays with a fianchetto. I play g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, castles. And now my opponent plays b3, so also a bit surprising for me that he plays also on the queen side a fianchetto, but okay, I thought to myself, my standard setup cannot be that wrong, so not sure, but also the computer says it's pretty equal, so it cannot be that bad. I played c6, he played bishop b2, I played the knight to d7 to support a bit the pawn push on e5. I mean, this is one thing that this bishop does. It really protects the e5 square, so I have to support this pawn a bit more than in typical games. Okay, he plays pawn to c4, so not to trap the pawn behind the knight. Makes sense. I play queen to c7 to again support this this square and this push. He plays knight to c3. This disconnects the bishop from this square, so I can just play e5 and have a pretty normal setup. I mean, white pieces are different than in a normal King's Indian setup, but okay, still some kind of King's Indian. He trades d takes e5, and I play also d takes e5. And here I was always expecting expecting something like e4, just because that's also a typical setup. You play e4, e5, and then you blockade each other here. But he did not play e4. but decided to do something different and to really use this bishop in a different way. So he played bishop to a3 and attack my rook here. Okay, so this was a bit unexpected for me. And okay, I mean, I kind of have to move the rook. There are not that many good other options. I mean, okay, the computer makes some strange suggestion like playing e4, yeah, with the idea that the pawn can just, yeah, take everything. Yeah, basically something like this and here, and now you have to take here. And okay, takes, and okay, now you have to take with the king, because otherwise this knight is protected. So yeah, so this is one variation you can play, but I mean, I'm a pawn down, so oh no, I'm a pawn down, but I have 2 light pieces for a rook, so yeah, probably a bit of an advantage. Yeah, so you could have played e4, but I mean, this is not. Yeah, it's a move, but it's not a natural move that you easily find in that position. So I made the normal looking move, rook to e8 to support the e5 pawn, or also in push. I mean, in this situation, I still expected him to play e4 to stop my pawn, but okay, he played again aggressively. Bishop to d6. Okay, and in this situation, it's tricky because the best move is apparently just retreating queen to the d8 square where she started, but this is not really what I want to play. I mean, yeah, it looks a bit strange. Also, I mean, okay, this pawn is kind of protected by bishop and rook, but if the bishop takes, I mean, there can also be a queen takes, so just show it to you. So I expected it to be like this, but now I get it. The knight can take here with check. I did not see that. I thought the knight was unprotected. Like I expected I have to take here. Yeah, and then he takes here, and now I'm just down a pawn. But no, in this situation you can take here with check, and instead you're up a pawn. Sorry, you're down a pawn but up a piece. Okay, I did not see that. So yeah, I thought I have to protect this pawn in a different way, and I played a queen to a5. So this is giving me a slight disadvantage, 0.5 disadvantage, but okay. I felt like this is a good way of counterattacking. I attack this knight here, so he has to react. And now I already feel like, okay, maybe I can push e4 at some point, and then I get, first I prevent e4 by the white pieces, I get some more space, I can open up the diagonal, knight can maybe move somewhere. Okay, it's not that perfect at the moment, but yeah. There are options. Okay. But the queen, you will see it in the next move, is a bit passive on his side. So I kind of move the queen on his side. It's not really dangerous that the queen gets trapped. Yeah. But the queen is not, I mean, the queen can be attacked multiple ways often, and when you have to move your queen very often, I mean, the queen is also a target at some point. Okay, so my opponent played then before. Here, I mean, again, the options to retreat the queen or the option to attack with the queen. So I decided, okay, I really want to make this push. So I'm going to the offensive, queen to a3, attacking the knight again. So white has to do something. And okay, in this situation, one thing that I thought is not really good for the white pieces is queen to b3, going for the queen trade, because I thought, okay, my queen is a bit misplaced. So white should not want to trade the queens, but apparently this is really the best thing to do. So it stops all my threats, or at least mostly. I mean, I still do not really know what's the problem after playing e4. So I mean, I expect design like this. Okay, I can trade, and then I play e4. But okay, the computer says this is not so bad. I mean, the rook is has a good attacking file here. The other rook can go here. The knight goes into the center. I mean, okay, I kind of understand it. White pieces are all looking good, and my pieces are a bit passive. So okay, but I did not really expect this. So he played a move that I was more expecting. So he played the queen to c2, protecting this knight. And now I just followed my plan. Played e4. So first it attacks this knight. I get more space, and when I somehow manage to move this knight maybe to g4 and I don't know e5 to retreat it here to the center, this bishop is really going into this open diagonal. So the bishop can attack here. Indirectly, it also targets the rook. So yeah, looks good. And yeah, I expected in this situation something like knight to d4. And here my opponent played the first big mistake. He played knight to d2. And this made me really happy, because the problem with the pawn here always was I want to push further, but he can always play something like f4. Yeah? And then my pawn here is stuck, isolated. It's not great. But in this situation, I can play e3 and basically fork this pawn and this knight, and he cannot prevent me from making a trade here with the f pawn, right? So that way I open up my file, I create some attacking chances. So this is great. During the game, I did not see how great it was. Yeah? So I thought, okay, this is a bit better than me. But now the computer tells me in the analysis it's -2. So I really have a huge advantage now. It's close to winning, I don't know, but yeah, probably it's mostly positional advantage, so not really something I'm very good in transforming to something like a material advantage or a mate or something. But okay, just that you know, it's it's really advantageous for me in this position, even when I do not really understand it. I understood during the game that it is a pretty good advantage, but I did not really understand how to convert it. Okay, but the important thing is I understood, okay, e3 is the right move. Okay, he can trade himself the pawns, but it's not really that useful. So he just moves the knight to the queen side. Makes sense. I mean, you can move the knight then into the center or forwards. Totally fine. Then I made the trade of the pawns. Rook takes back. And now I'm feeling a bit okay. I have in general a good position, but my problem is that all my pieces are kind of in the initial squares. I mean, yeah, sure, the bishop is on a good square, and the knights are also in some good squares where they belong, but they're still, except of the queen, everything is 6th rank or behind. So I need to move the pieces out. So this knight has to go somewhere, maybe here, to free the bishop. So the bishop could go, well, maybe here, I don't know, or here. The rook has to come in, so I need to really develop. So this is move 17, and those two pieces are totally not developed, and yeah, the other pieces are also still very, very passive. So I don't know, I don't feel that I really wasted moves, but yeah, maybe a bit too many queen moves or pawn moves, I don't know. So the next move I decided was to target his heavy pieces. So right now the rook, maybe also the queen, later on to develop my light pieces. So first I move the knight out to g4, also with the idea of the clear idea to attack the rook, but also to put the knight in here to fork queen and this bishop. So I want to trade down the bishop and reduce the defenders around the king. So I still had the idea, okay, I can attack the king because the pawn structure is not that great in front of the king. Yeah, it's a bit ambitious because my pieces are also not exactly aiming at the king. I mean, this bishop can maybe go to d4 right now, but yeah, it's there has also a lot must happen until I can really attack the king. So my opponent plays the rook to f3. I mean, it's not really preventing my knight from going here, but okay, it's protecting the square. But now I can move the other knight out to e5 to attack the rook, also attack this pawn, force the rook to go away, or I mean, he can trade with the bishop, but this bishop is kind of the strongest piece. It's annoying every other piece in my position, so he doesn't really want to trade that. So he moves the rook to f4. Okay, and now I continue with my plan. I mean, the knight is a bit... I made a bit many knight moves, or I will make 1 or 2 knight moves again. So kind of I waste many moves by just moving that one piece. But on the other hand, I managed to attack first with e3 the queen and this bishop, so he has to move the queen again, and then I can trade this. I don't know if it's really a valuable bishop. It's a good defender. It's not really attacking anything. It's seeing these pawns, but yeah. But I felt like, okay, removing the pieces around the king should be good with a king's attack idea. Okay, so around this time already my opponent got into some time trouble. I still had some time, so maybe 15 minutes or so, while my opponent was coming close to the increment. So just to tell you a bit about how this game now develops. That's important for the dynamic. What's typical for me in situations like that is that I do not really get that much advantage out of such a time scramble situation, because the issue is a bit I'm thinking a lot on my opponent's time. So when my opponent goes low on time, I cannot think on my opponent's time, so I use that I use my own time for that thinking. So I waste a lot more time when my opponent is in time trouble. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really wasting it, but I'm using a lot more of my own time when my opponent is in time trouble, and then I'm getting also in time trouble. So I mean, it's better than being lower on time than your opponent, but yeah, I cannot really profit that much from time trouble situations of my opponent, typically. But just to the time background, or to the clocks in this situation. So my opponent decided here to play the queen to e4. Okay, so in this situation, I really wanted to take this bishop here. It's interesting that you can also take this c4 pawn with the knight. I did not see that in the game, but this is really also an interesting move, because now you are attacking this bishop. I mean, first you win a pawn, then you're attacking this bishop. So somehow white has to react. White can also not play c5 anymore to support this bishop. So yeah, maybe knight takes the c4 pawn is also good, but I played the best move. So actually just taking with the knight on g2 is the best move, but just when I look at it now, winning a pawn looks a bit better than trading down an advanced knight for that bishop that, I mean, doesn't really attack anywhere useful, right? But okay, my opponent takes back with the queen on g2. And okay, one thing that I did not see or realize in this situation is that you can actually still take with a knight on c4. Yeah? So the idea is you take with the knight, and it looks like okay, you just take with a rook, and then this knight is protected. So this looks pretty logical, but you can just develop this bishop, still attack the rook, and now, I mean, yeah, whatever you're doing, I mean, there are two options. Either you say, okay, I give the exchange, so queen to e4, and you give the exchange, or you move the rook away to f4, and then you just lose the knight. Then you're down one pawn. Okay, then you're down one pawn with the queen variation. You don't need to take you straight away. You can also play b5 to attack the rook. Also interesting. I play this, just win the exchange, and then play the queen here to attack the knight. Okay, this is not that clear. Now the computer still says that it's great for the black pieces, but this is again some tricky variation. I actually do not really see why this is so great. Probably because you can do something like rook takes e2, and then the king's position is very open. I guess it's the weakness on the second rank that this makes the situation so bad, right? If you protect here, okay, the computer wants me to develop the second rook. What is so bad about? Oh, sorry, this is not. The knight is still protecting. And if I take straight away, then the queen can take. So if the rook takes, you can enter here. When the queen takes, yeah, you still have an advantage, but it's not so great anymore. This advantage is not so perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I was not really that much in time trouble yet, but my opponent was a bit, and I did not really. I'm not into playing such complicated things here, so I just make the easy move, just developing the bishop to e6, attacking this pawn. Looks very logical. I can also develop now the rook. My opponent, I was kind of expecting c5. But okay, the problem with c5 right now is that the bishop can take the b3 pawn. So yeah, right now it doesn't work. So my opponent played an intermediate move. So knight to b1. Here the issue is when I go back with the queen to a4 or a6, the knight can fork the queen here and the bishop. So not really perfect. So I decided to go with the queen to b2, even when I kind of blockade my own bishop on a diagonal. But yeah, and now my opponent plays knight 1 to d2, and this knight is first immediately protecting the c4 pawn, and now also the knight on b3, and now c5 is possible. So my opponent found a smart way to actually play that. Yeah, c5 did not really work a few moves ago. Now it works. And okay, I'm developing the rook from a to d8, and now my opponent can play c5. So everything looks great. I mean, the computer says I'm nearly -5 in an advantage, but okay, how to do it? I mean, I do not have more material. It's just the position is somehow in general a lot better, but yeah, how to prove that, or how to actually win? It's not that easy. So I was like trying a bit to improve the position of my pieces, develop them a bit better, to move them a bit further to the front. And yeah, one move that I favored here was the knight to g4, to be able to put it at some point maybe on e3, open the diagonal, maybe also be able to play this bishop either here or take here and open the file for the bishop. Open the file for the rook when the bishop is gone. So there are some options here, right? So bishop takes here, and if the knight takes, you can take here, or pawn cannot take because of the rook. So just let me check it. Maybe already in this position. No, in this position it did not work because a knight is stopping the rook from attacking here. Yeah, so that was a bit multiple ideas at one time. The issue is my opponent played now queen to f3, and I did not really see or calculate that move, probably because the knight was preventing queen f3 before, so I overlooked that, and now I was not really sure what to do. So I made a hard decision and just play again knight back to e5, to the place where the knight came from. I was a bit angry about myself that I just made a move that I had to kind of undo. But okay, that's life. Sometimes you have to just make the decision to go back to the previous situation. Now he played a queen to f2, and here I've already felt a bit uncomfortable because I thought, okay, now the rook comes to the f1, and there are 3 heavy pieces in the f file, and they're attacking here the f7 pawn, and I was already feeling like maybe now he has some counterattack. Also, the f8 square is attacked or protected by the bishop, so that it felt like now the counterattack can start, or there are some chances. I mean, okay, the queen is attacking the a2 pawn, so at the moment the pawn would have been lost, but did not look that great for me. And okay, here both of us had no time, so I was also on no time, so I tried to somehow just survive the time trouble, and I played bishop to d5. And here I made also a move that I did not really calculate, and he played e4. And so in this situation I was close to just move the bishop back to do exactly the same, just retreat and do nothing special. But the good thing is here I realized that there is a problem with that move. And yeah, I'm really happy that I had some blitz chess skills and understood that, okay, by moving e4, now the d3 square is unprotected, so I can just move the knight to d3 and play a fork. Yeah, so I really invested still 1-2 minutes or so, because I mean, yeah, you can move here in exchange, but this bishop is attacked by a pawn, so maybe it could be a 2 light pieces for a pawn and rook situation. But okay, the knight attacks the queen, so the queen has to move first. And the good thing is also, when the knight takes on f4, the knight protects this square, so I could even retreat with the knight, so I don't lose both light pieces. So I played knight to d3. He has to move the queen, so queen d1, knight takes f4, and now when he would take the bishop with a pawn, the knight can just take back. So instead of that, he decided to take with the queen on f4. And here in this situation, what the computer really likes the most is becoming aggressive with the king's attack, so playing bishop d4 and really using that. Yeah, you can take your back with the queen in principle, and then the rook is unprotected, so the knight is not really doing anything. So the idea is really to use that situation that you can attack via both diagonals with the bishops. But I played it here the safe way. I had no time to really think, so I just traded down bishop because less pieces make it easier. For me, I have advantage, material advantage, so I just wanted to save it to move 40. He has to take back with knight. Now I was just going for piece trade, so just went queen f6 to offer a queen trade. He declined, played queen e3. Then I played bishop to f8 again, aiming for a trade of the bishop. Nice thing in this situation, so he cannot really play e5 because then I can just take with the bishop, because yeah, when he takes with the pawn, whatever piece, the rook is winning back the queen, so it's not really working. To play e4 in e4 e5 in this position. So here he made an intermediate move, rook to f1. Here I decided to go with the queen to g7 because there is some weakness. The f7 pawn is now pretty unprotected, so I need to keep the queen around this pawn at the moment. He played bishop to f4 to stop this pawn weakness here. I decided to go to a counterattack and play f5. So now he has to do something with this pawn. There's basically just one way. Okay, you can still protect it with a knight, so that is also possible. But he played e5, and now my idea was, this is a pass pawn, but I thought it's mostly a weak pawn and a target. So the idea was get the bishop back to g7 to attack the pawn, and attack the pawn with, okay, rook, maybe the other rook from this side, the queen. So just attack it from all sides and it should fall. Even if it doesn't fall, I can force him to commit all pieces to the protection of this pawn, and then maybe I can force some trades. Right? So the idea was I play queen d7 so that I can infiltrate somehow via the d-file, get the bishop back to this position, also stop an e6 advance right now. So cannot play e6 because the queen can just take back. So yeah, looks good. And in this position, something happened that really did not happen a long time in my classical games, so in the league games. So this is move 34. After 40 moves, you get some extra time. I mean, we have increment, of course, for every move, but yeah, it's not much. And in this position, my opponent lost some time. So it was just, okay, I made this move and we were playing very quick. And after this move, he really sit there and thought, and was like, okay, now you don't have much time anymore, so probably should move. But he didn't move, so his time ran out, and I said, okay, but your time ran out, so yeah, I won the game on time. It's a bit, it feels always a bit like a second-rate win when you win on time, but okay, I have an advantage of -3 point something, so it is a one game, but yeah, winning on time always feels a bit strange. Okay, but this is the situation, this is the result. And now a few words to the situation of the team. So when I finished with my game, we were 2.5 to 1.5 in a lead. So 4 games were still running. And at the end of the day, we again won this match, but it was just 4.5 to 3.5. So the smallest possible win, but we won anyway. So one bit funny thing in this match was also the type of the results. So I mean, you see I won with the black pieces, but from board 3 on, to board 8. So the last 6 boards, every time the player with the black pieces won. So that was basically 3-3, only with black pieces wins. The second board played a draw, and the first board there our player won with the white pieces. So this is how the result came. Really funny result with all that black pieces wins. But okay, sometimes it happens. Okay, so this means for the table situation, we won still all games after the 7th round, so 7 out of 7. Our opponent lost the second game, and there was a second team that also won 5 games and lost 2 games after the first 7 rounds. So the standings in the table is we have a comfortable 4-point or 2-win lead, and the second and third ranked team have 2 losses, while there are only 2 rounds to play. So it's 10 teams and 10 teams and 9 rounds to play. So the best that the opponent's teams can do is win both of those matches. And when we lose both of our matches, we have the same number of points. So then the number of individual points are important. So it really matters if you won your matches 8-0, 7-1, or just 4.5, 3.5. We are also in a good position to be better in the individual wins, because we won the first 5 rounds so decisively. But still, it's of course better and safer to just win your games as a team and have more points in the end. So the situation after round 7 is when we manage to win at least, or to get at least 1 team point. So to win a game as a team or to draw a game as a team. So 4-4 is also a possible result. Then we are definitely number 1 in the table after the whole season, and we get the promotion. If not, it depends on how many individual games we won, or so how many points the individual players scored. So if you score more, we're still first. If we don't score more individual points in all matches, we are second or third. But this is the situation, so we just need to have at least 1 draw in the remaining 2 games. And so the 8th round, we are playing against our, I don't know if I should say local rival, but the club that is really next door. So it's not really a rival, so there's a nice atmosphere, but you still really want to win the game against your neighbor. And getting the promotion fixed with winning against your local rival would also be great. So this is the outlook to the 8th round. I will also cover my game and the whole match. So thank you very much for watching the recap. And if you like, you can also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss when I upload the last 2 recaps of this season. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next time.